Hello everybody, welcome back to my movie review series. Today we'll be discussing Radius. Just finished watching it, it's currently on YouTube for free. You know how we do it. I'll give you my overall impressions and grade after reading some logistics about the movie. If you have not seen it, would like to, based or not based on my recommendation, you're going to shut off the video because there will be spoiler alerts. We'll be discussing the plot, synopsis, and character development, and any similar movies or major themes. So Radius it is not rated. I'd say it's probably PG-13, but it says not rated. It is 2017 release date, sci-fi / thriller. Has an hour and 33-minute runtime. You can currently watch it for free on YouTube. It says, when he wakes up after a car accident with no memory of who he is, a man makes his way into the nearest town to look for help. As he draws nearer to the town, he discovers dead bodies that have strange pale eyes. Directed by Steve Leonard and Caroline Lebrecht. 72% liked it on Google, 3.6 out of 5 on Vudu, 6.3 out of 10 on IMDb, and 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. It said it's thrilling, dark, and mysterious. What did I think? Overall, I thought there was some novelty to the plot, something a little new. Didn't really tie together. There's kind of like two major, plot lines that don't really tie together super well for me. Had some novelty in the script where I thought it was a little different, had me intrigued. Acting wasn't super convincing, but that doesn't really throw me if they're like not big names or if it's just the writing was what I'm responding to. So the acting doesn't have to be super strong for me to like it as long as it's just something interesting. This is a short movie, an hour and 33 minutes. I am going to give it a C+. Almost entertaining. Definitely could have been in the entertaining range. Again, if the plot would have tied together a little better, just did a little something different with the writing. So overall, if you've not seen it, this could be entertaining to some or it could just be stupid to others, but for me, it was C+, almost in the entertaining range. I thought the plot could have been a little better, and they had some fruit there to eat, but they didn't eat their fruit, so C+. So if you've not seen it and like to, we're going to be spoiler alerts with the plot synopsis and character development now. So the movie opens up, and this guy, who you later learn is Liam, he's in a car accident, in this overturned car, the gas is going, the blinker's on, he crawls out, and he starts running. He waves down a person, he's walking down the street, it's kind of a country road. The setting is modern day to, I'm not exactly sure where location, somewhere in the United States. But he's walking and waves down this girl, and as the girl's pulling over to help him, she peels over and dies. And so she has these pale eyes, and so Liam is kind of freaked out. Some of the birds are falling out of the sky dead. And so he runs to this diner. He pulls out his ID and is able to learn his name and address from there. So he runs to this diner, and then right when he walks in there, everyone is also dead with these pale eyes, just keeled over, just dead. And so he's kind of freaking out, he's not sure what's going on. He rips off one of the sleeves of his shirt to put it over his mouth, thinking that maybe it's an airborne infection or virus going on. And so he goes and breaks into this house, which it could have been tighter on the plot to make sure, again, they show his ID, but it's not like you're going to read the address from one scene and remember it the next one. And so it wasn't clear in the plot initially if it was his house or not. Turns out it is his house, but he breaks in, and so when you're initially watching, you're not sure again where the plot's going to go, but it could have been tighter if you knew whether it was his house or not more definitively. One little line, one little something would have given that away, but something that stuck out to me in the writing. But regardless, he puts a bunch of duct tape over the windows. He sees this tractor guy doing his yard work, and he puts up a sign on the window like, "Go home, it's not safe outside." And the tractor guy's the farmer's confused as to what he's talking about, so he kind of approaches him, and then once he crosses this little creek, and then he falls over dead as well. And so Liam is not sure what's going on. He turns on the news, and you get some initial reporting about, again, people covering the girl that died in the car, and then the people that died at the diner, and they're not sure if it's an airborne virus or what is occurring on the news. And so pretty quickly after that, he's kind of hiding in his shed or in his garage or just an outdoor shed. And then you meet this other girl who turns out to be Lily Grayson. Or I think her name is Rose, actually. Yeah, her name is Rose Grayson, but it says Lily Grayson here. So Good job, Google. But it's Rose Grayson. Lily Grayson is the twin sister. You start to have Liam is starting having some flashback scenes where it's like you can tell the character is going to start remembering more of his past. And so Rose Grayson approaches Liam, and she's calling for him, and they said the cops told her I'm not exactly sure why she knows to go to Liam. But regardless, she is a Jane Doe. She has completely forgot everything. And some reason the cops have pointed her towards Liam. And so they meet up. They're going back and forth. She's like, what happened? What's going on? They're in his house. Jane Doe at this point, who turns out to be Rose Grayson, doesn't know, can't remember anything about herself. And they have all this tape up on the wall. But then you hear they definitively on the news, just kind of in the background, they determined it's not an airborne virus. They still know what's going on. And so Liam and Rose decide to, Rose has a flashback where she was like, I was in the car with you. And he's like, I don't remember that. And so they're like, let's go back to the wreck site. And so they go back to the wreck site, and then they see this huge black, burnt circle into the farmland. And so Liam has Rose slowly back up, and once she gets to a certain distance, this goat that's next to him just falls over dead. So at which point you get what the title of the movie is. Basically, if Rose Grayson is X distance away from Liam, everything around Liam dies. And so, or anything, once she's outside the radius, everyone within the radius that's close to Liam dies. And so I thought that was just did something a little different. Just having, if you leave this distance from somebody that dies, I thought it was a little different. In the novel script, I haven't really seen that anywhere. So that's kind of the major plot line. And so I'll tell you why it just doesn't resolve for me at the end. But regardless, they're trying to figure out what to do. They have no idea what's going on. Now they know what's going on, but they have no idea what to do about it. And so they want to go to the hospital, get some scans. And also they hear, I think while they're at the hospital, so they go to the hospital, Lily had gotten a CT scan. The course of the movie is 3 days since the accident. And so they go there. There's another cop that approaches. Liam and Lily are kind of fighting on the side of the road after the goat thing. Another cop pulls up, and Rose runs down the street, and the cop falls over dead. And so now they think Liam is killing them on purpose. So that was another novel thing, just again, these people falling over dead, and he's not actually trying to kill them. But they go to the hospital, they get a CT scan. Nothing's wrong with Liam. They can't find anything on the CT scan. But while they're doing that, they've investigated. They see these other cops, so they think Liam's a suspect. So on the news, you can see this is a armed and dangerous criminal. And so when he gets out of the CT scan, there's cops there. And so him and Lily have to run away. He gets caught in the elevator. She gets caught up seeing these missing posters of different missing girls. And so Liam is on this elevator, and she has to run down the stairs to stay within the radius and not kill the people on the elevator. They escape out of the hospital, and while they're in the car, they hear something that's when you learn Rose's name is Rose whatever, and her husband is looking for her. I believe that is the Sam character, either Sam or Bruce. I think it's Sam, doesn't matter. Regardless, he at first is where he doesn't know what to do. He owns a little print shop or something, and so he closes the shop and lets them stay there. You get some more background there. Again, both of them are kind of having flashbacks, remembering more things. But you learn that Rose Grayson had a twin sister, Lily Grayson, who had gone missing. You have some flashback scenes where you learn that Liam saved Rose. Rose was suicidal because of Lily's disappearance, and about to jump off of a bridge, and Liam talks her down off of the bridge, and she has this missing poster, and it releases into the water, and so she slowly remembers these things, and then she agrees to allow Liam to drive her home or to take her to safety. And so back in the modern time, you get a couple flashback scenes, and then they're hiding out in this shop. Sam, the husband of Sam Grayson, the husband of Rose, calls the police, kind of like not sure what to do, calls the police and tells them they have to leave. And so all of these police officers show up before they can get out of there. Another scene, the acting wasn't super convincing, but it's like, they're screaming and yelling and getting separated and knowing that they're all going to die if they get too far apart. So that happens. They take Liam outside. There's a bunch of bystanders, 25 people all fall down dead. And then the cop that took Rose away is like, what do you do? Pulls his gun, starts running at Liam, and then he falls dead once he gets within the radius. And so it's not like a definitive length, or they don't say anything, but it's just, I don't know, 20 yards maybe. So that happens, they all die there, and then Liam basically says, we have to go, I have this cabin up north, we can go hide out there until we can figure out what to do, contact a scientist, whatever. And Sam's going to hang back and try to convince the police of what's going on. And so they go up to this cabin place, and Liam goes out, he goes to go on a walk, he goes on a little boat to go just, relax, at which point you have a flashback, and Rose, is going to start a fire and finds this little, metal lockbox in the bottom of the furnace and takes it out and starts flipping the pages and realizes that Liam is like a serial killer. And so the night of the crash, basically what happened was there was just some astronomical anomaly that hit them like a lightning bolt type of thing. It kind of just infused or entangled their bodies to where this radius, if they get away from each other, they die, or everyone around Liam dies. But Liam beforehand was also a serial killer. So it's like he's unintentionally killing people as this, victim of this lightning strike, but he had been killing a bunch of these missing girls. And so while she's realizing that and seeing, she's flipping through this thing and has a picture of the missing poster, and then a journal entry about how he killed them or whatever. And so at the same time, Rose is realizing that in the cabin, Liam is, his memory's coming back to him, where it's like Lily Grayson, he had already killed Lily Grayson and dumped her in the water in that lake that he's sitting on. And so now he kind of realizes what he is or what he was. And so then you get a further flashback to the night where he did save Rose Grayson from jumping off the bridge, but she starts to get a little suspect of him and asks to stop for coffee, and he pulls out a syringe with something and he goes to stab her to sedate her or whatever. And then they run off the road and have the car accident, and then they get struck by the lightning, super sci-fi scene where they start getting entangled, and then that's how the radius came together. So for me, the movie just didn't resolve as to why. I thought it was decently interesting, the radius concept, and then just having him be a serial killer, it just didn't add up to me. And so those are the two major plot lines, and just kind of I don't know why that went that direction, but regardless, still decently interesting to me. But the movie resolves by Lily pulls out a rifle and puts at gunpoint to Liam. He's now realized what he has done, and so she goes back and forth if she's going to kill him or not. And then she goes up. They both go back up to the cabin. And then when they had left, they had stopped at a gas station when they were heading up north to this cabin, and so people had recognized them. And now Liam's being called armed and dangerous, maybe a terrorist, whatever. And so these vigilantes had followed them. And so they take Rose and Liam at gunpoint. And Rose is like, if you just let us go, you have a chance to live. And so, the vigilantes have them at gunpoint. They're like, what are you talking about? And so Liam starts to slowly back away. Rose knows that once he gets far enough away, they're going to die. And so he backs up away, and two of the dudes fall over dead. And they have a younger son, Ted, and he comes walking towards him, and he falls over dead right away as well. And so right before that, Rose tries to run away, and Ted shoots her in the stomach. And so the final resolution of the movie is Liam races Rose to the hospital, and then as she's getting wheeled away on the gurney or on the stretcher, Liam pulls out a gun and shoots himself, and that's the resolution where he's like, I'm going to kill myself to not kill these other people because I'm not going to stop. They're not going to fix me or whatever. I'm a serial killer anyway. So that was kind of the resolution to the movie. Again, I thought the radius idea was decently interesting. It just didn't coalesce with me with the having him be a serial killer in the first place. So So decent idea. I thought it could have been executed a little better. Some novelty in the writing. Overall, could have even given it a B minus, but C plus. I thought the runtime was good. Acting wasn't super convincing, but that never really throws me that much. But similar movies or major themes, again, the Radius ideas seem to be somewhat novel to me. So overall, C plus. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.